Hello, everybody here and everybody in the stream or watching this afterwards. For this session and before I start with the context, it is imperative to share it with someone that is actually dealing with innovation in the corporate world. And for that, I'm going to ask and to invite Javier to join us on stage. Javier Sanchez. Javier is Chief Innovation and Brand Officer at Aedas Homes. He's a member of the steering committee since joining the home builder in 2017. Javier has played an active part in the young company's growth, including its IPO, which we all know it's a very difficult time, especially for such a young company. And Javier, you're also responsible for technology, data, innovation, and digital transformation. And you have played a significant role in launch Aedas Homes, different projects like Modern Methods of Construction business line, or creating a live virtual tours product that you'll explain us later. So definitely a pioneer on the experience of selling homes, providing virtual tours to customers, guided by live real estate advisors. So welcome, Javier.
Thank you very much, Cesar. Thank you.
Okay, so Javier, before I get into your experience from the innovation part, I think it's a good idea maybe to give a little bit of context on the next gen funds, because I think here in Spain, since we are the second or maybe the first along with Italy state that we're going to receive most funds, maybe we're pretty familiar, but the South Summit is very international, and maybe there's people that are listening to us that are not so familiar. So just very briefly, the Next Gen is a recovery fund put in place by the European Union after the pandemic, and not necessarily to actually work on the companies that are more on the crisis level, but actually to take this opportunity that the pandemic has brought in terms of boosting transformation and getting a European single market that is really focused and boosted by technology and digitalization. So there's 750,000 million euros that are going to be invested on this plan, of which 140,000 are coming to Spain. And what has happened is that from that Next Gen program for the whole Europe, every country, every market has had to present to the European Commission your own plan, your own market plan. In the case of Spain, it's a plan called España Puede, España Can, so a little bit of our Yes We Can. Again, it's the largest of all Europe. It's very ambitious, and it's focused on four main streams, which are sustainability, industrialization, digitalization, and gender equality, that before fireside chat we were talking about. Then those four goals have 10 different policy streams with 30 components, in which all the calls for financing are going to come within this type of components that, again, are going to be focused on that impact on industrialization, sustainability, digitalization, and gender equality. So we're at this point, and part of these calls are actually going to need the corporations. The corporations for these funds are seen as attraction for projects that are going to need a lot of collaboration. So at this point, and now getting into Javier and into Aedas, we see that Aedas is a young company in the real estate, Javier, but I think for most of us, real estate has been for many, many years a very traditional sector in which pretty much construction and going to ask for a mortgage and buy a house, and this has been happening since probably our parents were doing it like that. Yeah. How is transforming the sector so that we can talk really on transformative projects for these funds?
Okay. Well, we are in a new generation of real estate companies. Mm-hmm. We are talking about a large sector which represents 12% of the GDP of Spain. So mm-hmm. this is something big. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows about homes. We all live in homes, and the role of Aedas Homes is specifically into the creation of new homes. We only do one thing, which is create new homes. around 3,000 per year. So the opportunity is very big. These new generation companies have massive challenge because of digitization. So I would say that there are three main parts where we are in the middle of a revolution. The first part is that we are not anymore interested in building, but manufacturing buildings, which means that modern methods of construction allows you to get away from the traditional way of building homes, which is the same way we've been building homes for 200 years. It takes the same time, it has the same inefficiencies, it doesn't work for sustainability or decarbonization because it takes a lot of resources to make the building in a traditional way. Of course, this is not going to change from one day to another, but the idea is to manufacture homes away from the site, either in 2D or 3D. So you build a factory, similar to a factory where you build cars or planes, which is, I think, a better example, because planes are assembled in a large factory, and it has many, many pieces. And so the idea is to build in 2D or 3D. 3D would be the module itself, and different modules will combine and connected and ensemble will make the home. But for example, a bathroom pod will also be something that you can do in 3D, or a kitchen, or the entire house.
Like a Lego.
Like a Lego, exactly. Or you can do things in 2D, like facades, like you know, the walls, the internal walls, you know, many different parts of the home. So the idea is you no more build, but you manufacture, and then you transport that and you assemble this on the final side. This is a massive new industry. You have the traditional builders that are already being aware that they need to change because it's more cost efficient. It makes things more sustainable. It fights against, you know, or in favor of decarbonization. Gender-wise, it's much better because women hadn't had access to this industry, you know, for different reasons. But in a control and manufacture way, women can perfectly, you know, work at least 3 times more than in traditional offsite, inside buildings. You change from uncertainty in cost and time, and you really get certainty because you planify, you make a better plan of the entire project.
Manufacturing line which you can control.
Exactly. You cannot improvise. You know, when you have a home that is running through a chain and is getting the different parts. So those companies that will crack how to manufacture homes instead of building homes have a big future, and it's a multi-billion euros opportunity. So that's one aspect.
That's the first change, manufacturing.
That's the first, manufacturing.
Second one.
The second one would be the selling of the home itself has been traditionally a very physical experience, and this is going to change because of ways of building new narratives for selling homes digitally. If I live in Norway and I want to buy a house in the south, in the sunny south of Spain, of course taking a plane and visiting the place would be important. But the pandemic showed us that if the narrative and the experience is good enough, you can buy a home remotely without visiting the place, because the house is already not built. So even if you go, you're not going to see much in the site. And we believe that companies that are focusing their efforts in virtualization and creating new narratives and new experience for customers, they are also going to be the future generation of agencies.
So we're talking here about virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality.
Exactly, and we built an innovation project which is today a separate company from the group. It's called Live Virtual Tours. And we combine three technologies. We first build with Unreal Engine. Unreal is one of the engines for video games, like video games very famous like Fortnite. So we first build in 3D the house and the surroundings. Then we use the technology, which is very stable, from television. And a customer representative that is in a chroma, in a green chroma, is connecting live with the customer. And then we use the internet as a mechanism of communication. So basically, what we can do in real time is we can take this person in this chroma and we can put this person inside the video game, the house, and that person is live answering your questions
and moving around,
showing you and walking around. When the human brain looks at a person inside of a space, you immediately understand how big is the thing, the kitchen, the living room, the swimming pool, and you can, with your voice, you can ask the person to take you from one part to another, to zoom in some places, to answer, any questions you may have. And because they can see the house much better than physically, and because they create trust with the customer representatives, we've been selling more than 30 million euros in homes remotely
already with this technology.
So it's a big step. And the third one would be the digitalization of the home. The concept of going to a home as a service. Today, building a home is 99% hardware and 1% software in the mind of the industry. But this equation is going to change. Every single industry where digitalization has made a revolution was because the software part took more strength from the hardware part. I'm going to make a very simple example. Taxis is a very physical thing. You take a taxi, it takes you from point A to point B. But today, taking a cab is more pressing some buttons on your phone. Of course, the physical world organizes itself. When you say, I want to go from this point to this point, I know the price, and you have all these services. So, of course, taking one person from point A and point B is going to be physical for many years, but it's more a software play right now. And then you have Uber and Cabify and My Taxi and many plots. So, in the world of construction, that 1% of software is going to increase, which means that it's not only controlling the climate or the air condition and the temperature of your home. It's many more things. It's all the devices that are connected. It's how to remotely allow access to friends or an Amazon delivery. How to be able to answer if somebody rings your doorbell from your work using your phone. It means how to connect the lights and your TV and having an Alexa or a Google Home assistant. All this ecosystem is going to flourish in the next few years. And I think it's also a very interesting opportunity for those companies, for those startups out there, because again, those who are going to crack this, they will have a massive opportunity because we have 27 million homes in Spain. So just in Spain, I'm not talking about Europe, which is even bigger. The opportunity is great for all these startups that we are seeing and all this talent.
Let's talk about that a little bit, Javier, because we're in the South Summit, and on this last part, you're talking about the smart home, and I'm sure there are other startups that probably can have solutions for manufacturing and for the customer experience in the sale. But you mentioned something that I think is happening in every single industry, which is we are in the servitized world. We don't sell cars anymore. We rent it by time, and we provide added services. Everybody in retail, everybody is trying to see how you can actually provide the service around the product, because the product doesn't differentiate that much anymore. So now you're saying on something that is a huge product, usually once in a lifetime
your life,
sale,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And suddenly you're making it like a platform in which you can interact with all types of things around the life of the home. And by that, you have to work, I guess, with a huge ecosystem to make like an operating system, right? The house has to be an operating system accessible by all the technology that are coming, by all these applications that are coming. So you as a builder are actually in the center of that. So you're promoting that actually you can become, as a builder, the first interaction or even the creator of that platform for the house that you are going to give to someone. So I would ask you, what is the message in the South Summit with all these startups, talking about the funds, the European funds, because what you have told us, it's really transformative. The funds are going to come in a competitive way, so that means that this is not somebody that has an idea or that has a need is going to come to a public calling and is going to get the funds. There is going to be competitiveness. It seems a lot of money, and it seems like there's going to be sometimes hard to cover all the money that is going to come. But the reality, and we're seeing with already some areas like agriculture, for example, they have come 700 what is called manifest of interest, 700 manifest of interest with consortiums of companies for around 50, 60 companies each, and there are 700 of them. 2,400 million euros. If you divide that, you can see that it's not going to be that much money for everyone. They probably are going to select just a few and really like put some real investment into that for the most transformative ones. So I think what you told us is really transformative. How, if I'm a startup, should go about starting to talk into a corporation like you and start talking on, hey, I want to be part of this, I have something to put on the table,
Okay.
and go maybe to look for funds.
I will answer in two separate parts.
Yeah.
The first one would be for those companies, for those startups and scale-ups that really want to make a difference in this new opportunity that we have post-pandemic. I would say look at our business model and the different parts that we have. If you have something interesting in or that adds value in buying the land, in the process of buying the land, which is very, very manual today. Mm-hmm. If you have something to add in the construction, which is the second part that we do, and the selling of the home, and then the services, mm-hmm. and the after-sales service that you're giving, which is basically the four parts of our process, we believe there is a great opportunity. And property developers like us, mm-hmm. are very interested in talking to all these different companies. Mm-hmm. Now, next generation funds give us an additional opportunity, which is the homes that are already built, mm-hmm. are not efficient. Mm-hmm. Average age of homes in Spain are 42 years old. Mm-hmm. They were built in years where the technical your requisites were much lower than, mm-hmm. today. For, mm-hmm. new building, you can be, very you're on the safe side. They are sustainable. They are zero emissions. No problem. But for the existing, mm-hmm. which is the bigger part, yeah. they need to be renovated. Mm-hmm. Those funds need to find people interested in changing their homes. Mm-hmm. And this is not going to be very easy because you literally have to go building by building. Mm-hmm. If it's a single home, home by home, telling people, look, there are funds that you can take advantage of to renovate your home. Mm-hmm. And this will need thousands of agents all over Spain to make this possible. Mm-hmm. Because the owner of a home doesn't have such an incentive to change his home, mm-hmm. if he has to put money. But if they see the opportunity of changing and making more sustainable their home and saving money each month, And the way of doing this is easy because there is an agent that can facilitate the conversation between, the technical part and the financial part and the people. Then we will take advantage of all these funds. It would be very, very sad to see that we have a lot of money in one side from the European Union and that we don't have enough projects
That's the
to
challenge.
put that money, because then we will lose the money.
And we do have now a couple of calls that are going to come into action in the next months regarding this, right?
Yes.
With some thousands of millions involved in regenerating houses.
Exactly, and I think we need the entire value chain to make this happen. It's not only corporations, but we need people from the public sector, we need politicians, we need state level, community level, and city hall level to join forces. Then we need the banks to make this financially possible, and of course property developers, builders, architects. All these people are needed to make this happen, and it's a massive challenge. And I'm eager to see what we can do between now and 2026 with all these funds. So there is, again, a great opportunity for many people.
Lots of opportunities. I think we're running out of time, Javier. But I would definitely leave, if I can leave just one last message, is the opportunity. I think we all are all the time looking into how to generate more customer experiences. Everybody lives somewhere in a home. So to me, talking with people that are building the homes and suddenly being able to start talking about digitalization and experiences in smart homes, I think this is pretty new and a huge opportunity. We spend the most hours living there, so if we can get to the users in their homes, I think the picture can change a lot in what we're talking about with the pandemic and the uses of digitalization more and more. So I think your profile is a big player to play a big role in the next few years. So thank you a lot for giving us more light.
We are very happy, and thank to the South Summit for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you.